Because when it comes to information, TikTok is unfortunately, and I say that with the sincerest heart, it is unfortunately a major player in both pushing out and taking in information. I don't know how many people get all their information and their news and stuff from TikTok, but it's unfortunate. We've talked about how TikTok is used to further the elite's agenda, whether it's Project Halo, which that was the thing where they had the doctors that were going on TikTok to influence kids about the 2020 vitamin stuff. Then there was the fact that the UN, the lady at the UN, said that they were putting other doctors and their own team on TikTok to influence things about the climate change. That was the same thing where she said, we own the science. The UN owns the science. That was the same thing. And again, there's the thing that TikTok is, how do I put this? Chinese spyware, I guess. I guess that's the best way to put it. Well, TikTok isn't a CCP controlled entity like most people think they are. That's what you've been told. That's what you've been taught. That's what the media has pounded into your head, that TikTok is a CCP. I can never say that, controlled entity, but it's actually controlled by higher powers, aka the WEF. I've talked about this in the past as well. TikTok is funded and controlled by the WEF. Of course, my mouse just decided to die. Let's see if I can get my computer. There we go. I mean, even so much so, TikTok is hooked up with the WEF on their partners page. Did I get my, there we go. Mouse is working, everybody. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked about this in the past. It is a funded and controlled entity of the higher powers. And again, this plays into the element of China is along with Russia against the WEF, or against the WEF, against the West, against all like Europe and whatnot. But in actuality, and I've gone over this countless times, China and Russia are in on this stuff. It is all theater. It's all a play. Everything that we watch, everything that we see is a propaganda piece in order to continue to get you to believe the narrative. And this is something that's been going on for a long time. I mean, you go back to the 50s. The Communist Party was invading the United States and they were doing all this stuff. But in actuality, even back then, the same bankers that were a part of the US are the same bankers that were a part of China at the time. It's just a pushed narrative that continues to go throughout time. And so we've talked about that as well. But again, days of deception, all the world is a stage. Everything is to get you to believe in a certain way as they continue to do things their way. And one of the narratives, again, is the classic US versus China TikTok story. And we've seen things like the Restrict Act and the Data Act that have been pushed as anti-TikTok bills because they're Chinese spyware and they're using it to spy on all these types of things. So we have to have these bills in order to block China from being used in the United States. But when we talked about those acts in the past, I explained them. I showed pages from the bills. It has nothing to do with TikTok. There's actually no mention of TikTok in the bill. It has to do with locking down the internet, locking down the VPN. And if you are going to do something that they don't like, they can call you a foreign entity and then they can go ahead and imprison you and fine you like $1 million. And they can do all these things. And there's no overhead control for them to do it. It's just two people who can say, I don't like it, go get them. And so again, it's pushed out into the media. It's pushed out for people to look at and go, oh, it's Chinese spyware. They're trying to spy on us. So we've got China going against the United States. When in actuality is, oh, the same people who are controlling our government are controlling this app. So we're going to get these bills ready to go to try and lock down the internet for America. It's the same song and dance. This hand's over here saying, hey, look at me. This hand's over here actually doing all the work. I know that's cliche, but it's just how it is. I mean, again, we've talked about it with the End Times New Age series. Satan's plan from the Garden of Eden hasn't changed at all since now. It's the same plan. He just continues to just do it. So, but the TikTok story, the anti-TikTok story, grows bigger as the TikTok CEO, Xiaozi Chu, I probably did not pronounce that correctly, but Xiaoji Tu, which is the CEO of TikTok, he has come out stating that that they are storing some U.S. data on China-based servers. So the CEO has come out and said that China-based servers, so servers in China, are storing U.S. data of creators on TikTok. So the people who create TikToks, they're actually storing their data over there. Shocking, I know, right? That came out in the news and everybody was like, oh, no, how could they? They can't lie about that. Why would they lie about that? And it's just, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. But while Congress, because now you've got senators and whatnot all up in arms, you know, creating news story things about this, while Congress continues to deceive Americans into getting angry at China, let's take a look at some people who are actually involved with TikTok. So again, this hand is saying over here, look at me. Let's see what the other hand is doing. And that includes many people from the FBI and the CIA and other U.S. government departments that are involved. So again, Congress is a theater. Congress is a theater. Whatever comes out from that circus, and I use that term specifically because Congress, the White House, anything involved with that is a circus. It's there to say, look at the big elephant. Don't look behind the curtain. It is a circus. Everything that comes out of Congress is a circus. Whether it fits your political preference or not, because that's always the thing. If it goes in favor of what you believe, right on. If it goes against what you believe, oh, I can't believe it. Same old song and dance. It hasn't changed since it's begun. Whatever comes out of that circus, whether it fits your political preference or not, is nothing but a shiny object built to distract, anger, and elicit a response from you. They will either, it could be a blatant lie, it could be altered truth. They're going to do something that is not true, whatever comes out of that office. I know a lot of people, they were passing around the videos about the aliens thing, that congressional meeting about the aliens and whatnot. And I'm sitting there going, just, guys, this is a distraction. That's all it is. This is a distraction. So while all of that is going on, let's take a look at some of the people involved with TikTok. There is Jade Nestor. She is the head of TikTok's data public policy in Europe. But before she held that position, she had positions at IBM, was a senior advisor for the internet policy at the National Telecommunications and Information Administration within the United States Commerce Department, and was director of internet public policy at the State Department. So right here, the woman who heads TikTok Europe's data public policy comes straight from Washington. There's one. She was also the co-chair at the White House National Science Technology Council during the Obama administration. So for all of you who like to hear the name Obama, that one's for you. Then there's ex-Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs and State Department diplomat, as well as Department of Homeland Security official, Mariola Janik, who took over TikTok's Trust and Safety Program manager position. And if you guys don't know what that job is in charge of removing content, hiding specific subjects and keywords, as well as pushing narrative-laced content as well. So you've got somebody from the DHS, State Department, yada, 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 who is in control of all of that for TikTok. So again, number 2, don't forget TikTok recruiting coordinator Katrina Villasenarios. It's the best I got. I know that's not right. Villasenarios has worked at the State Department's Office of Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs, as well as a role in Army Cyber Command before joining TikTok. So we've got somebody, again, heavily from Washington involved with this Chinese spyware app. Kind of interesting how that works. We also can't forget Brad Ehrman and Ryan Walsh, who both combined have a history of being at the Air Force Office of Special Investigation, State Department Anti-Terrorism Division, and U.S. Senior Advisor for Digital Strategy, which includes pushing propaganda for the U.S. and NATO narratives. Both of those guys have that history and are also involved with TikTok. But I thought TikTok was Chinese spyware. There's more, but I'm not going to go over all of them. I think you get the idea. TikTok is not Chinese spyware. It is a system controlled by the elites to gather information, push information, and be utilized in any way possible to sustain and advance their agenda. Again, you have an app that the US government is saying it's Chinese spyware. Meanwhile, it is the US government that is running TikTok. And they created a bill that has nothing to do with TikTok, even though they said it was about TikTok, and it's built to restrict the internet. And as we know, the US government is completely controlled by the higher up elites. You see how the narrative, they just pound you with this narrative. This is what you need to believe in. We're going to have this giant circus, this giant theater in Congress about, I don't know how many times about TikTok to get everybody all wild up about it, even though it has nothing to do with what they're wiling you up about. It's deception. It is, look at this giant shiny object, pick your side, and have a reaction to it. It is the theater of politics, the political theater. The same thing that I have been warning about and talking about. Well, I've been doing this 2 years now, so for 2 years. Hasn't changed. Two sides, same coin. Because it's both the right and the left that continue to push these narratives, the same narratives. And I just showed you that they're both lying. I just showed you that they are both lying. It's up to you if you want to continue to go along with the narrative or not. But if that's not enough, there's TikTok's Project Texas, which includes partnering with the elite tech giant Oracle. You can look into them if you want, to move the U.S. data, their U.S. TikTok data servers to Austin, Texas. Coming with it was a team of Pentagon and CIA agents with backgrounds in the Pentagon, the CIA, the U.S. Pacific Command, National Security Council, the U.S. Army, Department of Energy, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the Office of Public Engagement, and even psychological operations for NATO. But it's Chinese spyware. That's what the congressional Democrats and Republicans tell us. But that sure looks like a whole lot of U.S. government involved with a Chinese spyware app. Red or blue, it doesn't matter. They're telling us one thing. I'm seeing something that says they're both lying. It's up to you with what you want to believe. And again, don't take anything that I say as 100% truth. Go look it up yourself. I stand by what I tell you guys. That I will stand by. Anything that I'm putting out to you guys, I make sure that I'm getting it right. But I also tell you guys, don't just believe everything I say. Go check it out. What you'll find is both the left and the right are lying to you. Not just about this, but a lot of other things too. My point on this isn't about TikTok itself. It's about the deception in these last days and the theater of political government. Nothing is as it seems in these last days. You may have been aligned with a side, a person, a whatever your entire life. But the only way they get into that position is if they're willing to play ball. It's been a while since I've just thrown it out there. And like I said earlier on with my tangent, I said, you know what? Sometimes you just need to just put out the truth and not sugarcoat it. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your job, your family, your house, or anything involved with that. They either are getting paid very well for what they do, or that somebody has dirt on them and they have to do what they're doing. But it's all theater. Whether it's a blatant lie or altered truth. Either way, it's not correct. And they're trying to elicit a response out of you based on the narrative that they're telling you rather than the truth at the heart of it. While the news about the US data being stored on the China-based TikTok servers is true, while that's true, the distraction of the US versus China narrative is what is being pushed. So again, what they're saying is true, but they're leaving out key elements to continue to push the narrative that they want everybody to fall in line with. We are the audience of a global show being put on. All the world's a stage. We cannot waste our time being distracted by congressional, presidential, dog and pony shows. We must be busy doing the Lord's work.